Would we make small round bales again on our little homestead? Well, that's the question that I want to answer for you today. Let me give you a little bit of a background. So we started making small square bales of hay on our homestead in 2017. I had a background making hay. I enjoy it, that kind of thing. And when we moved here in 2014, we had got some animals and stuff, and we wanted to start making our own hay. And so in 2017, we bought a small square baler, a New Holland, Super 69. We got it on Craigslist for like around 1,500 bucks. We already had a tractor. We bought some old equipment and we're making hay. Fast forward to 2024, I have been kind of looking for something that would, we could make hay with and have a lot less labor. Something that we wouldn't have to worry about the weather as much. So I did my research. I'd actually been looking for these for a while, but this is a Heston 530 small round baler. It makes like a 3 foot by 4 foot roughly round bale. They weigh about 400 pounds. I have a video on us weighing them, so I know what they weigh. We bought this baler thinking we were gonna use it this spring. Turned out we got to use it last fall. And it was nice because it was a little bit of a trial to see, you know, can we sell these things? We don't know. They're not really, I don't see them on Craigslist and Marketplace and all that around here. I see 4x4s and up and square bales. So that was the big question. And we ended up, you know, buying the baler and we tested it. So we're now in January of 2025. And, you know, I don't know when we made the hay, like I say, late summer, early fall. We made it and then I procrastinated advertising it for a little bit. And I think we advertised it starting in November and we're in January now. So let me tell y'all what the tactic was. I wanted to sell, this was second cutting, nice hay. It was really nice hay, really nice. And I knew I wanted to sell it at a premium price. And my target audience was people that either didn't have a tractor or just had like a small subcompact tractor. And the reason I wanted to target those people was because they might be interested in buying something besides square bales, but they don't have a tractor to move full-size round bales. There you go. I had to pull the golf cart in here because it's starting to rain outside. But as you can tell, if you didn't see any of our previous videos from the fall, this whole bay was 3 high of the new round bales that we made. And then in the very back was some square bales that we made from first cutting with our square baler. So let's kind of break down how it went with the hay. I want to talk about selling the hay and then also us using the hay, because really that's the most important part is, you know, does it fit into our system? What ended up happening was from like November through January, like I said, I only put the hay on Craigslist for sale. And since we didn't really have that much hay, basically I didn't renew the ad that often. So, but I didn't need to. That was the cool thing. So it ended up that we had 21 round bales that we made and had stored in here. And out of those 21 bales, we kept 4 for ourselves. We already had, I forgot what it was, 100 square bales here and then 100 at another location. So since we kept 4 of the 21 round bales, that meant we had 17 to sell. Out of those 17, we had 4 total customers, and out of those customers, 3 came just with a truck to pick them up, which this is important, and 1 came with a truck and trailer combination. So out of those 4 customers, 1 didn't own a tractor, 1 owned a John Deere 1025R, and he had actually, I think he had a neighbor that had bigger bales and he couldn't lift them. 1 of them owned a small subcompact tractor, but I didn't get the make or model or anything. And then 1 said that they owned a tractor, sounded like it was a little bit bigger than a subcompact. And I think the main reason for them buying was they wanted a round bale, but something that wasn't cow quality hay. One of the people that came here, they only had, you know, I think it was 2 horses and some sheep, I think was what it was. And they actually were feeding square bales and still are feeding square bales, and they wanted to try round bales for vacation purposes. So, you know, they wanted to be able to go out of town over Christmas for a week, you know, and things like that, not have to worry with their help to feed the animals, not have to worry with them carrying square bales out every day and that kind of thing. They just want to be able to plop a round bale in the field and be good for a week, but their tractor couldn't handle a full-size round bale. But I think we did prove that there was a demand for it. There's a demand for people with, you know, small to no tractor kind of thing, but you know, they want something other than a square bale. Now, is it something feasible from a monetary side and that kind of thing? Short answer, yeah. We sold them at that premium price that I set it high in the beginning, thinking we would have to come down, and I didn't have to come down. And actually, nobody tried to talk me down on price or anything. With that said, I did the math, and it was still, if you converted how many square bales are in a round bale, which I know that because I weighed the round bales and I weighed these, we sold the round bales at a 23% discount versus the square bales. Now, here's the thing about that. Look at all the advantages to the round bale. It's practically a one-man operation. With square baling, we have to do it on weekends. So you have to find weekends where the weather is good and that everybody is available to come and help. So that's number one. With the round bales, I could literally like take a half a day off work on a work Monday through Friday, come home and round bale all by myself. The other thing is you don't have to be as worried about the weather as you do with square bales. Square bales, you basically have to make them and pick them up out of the field, because we baled on the ground. And that was another thing. I looked into all kind of options to everything I could do, grapples and all this stuff to not bale on the ground. But that's a whole nother subject. But when you do that, you have to go back and pick up all those bales. And, you know, I can't tell you how many times the baling process goes fine, but they're calling for a little storm and you're worried about it and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So you're just rushing around like crazy. There was one night last year, one of the reasons why I wanted to get this round baler, we didn't get everything picked up out of the field and put in the barn until 3 a.m. The other thing about the round baler is it's just a newer machine. I think that machine was made in the serial number starts in 04. So it might have been made in 04. I've seen different things where they were made from like 88 to 2000. And that was for under the Case IH 8420, because it's the same baler. So I don't know what year ranges Heston made them, but it's a much, much newer baler than this New Holland Super 69 from either the 50s or the 60s sitting over here. And the other thing is, that I think is huge, is a round baler just has way, way less moving parts on it than a square baler, where you have plungers and knotters and a million bearings, and I'm just looking, I mean, all kind of stuff, you know, on it. And granted, that's been a great one, but there is a lot more failure points, it seems like to me. And the last point, which I kind of alluded to it, was when I said it's a one-man operation, is, you know, with making the round bales, we're not killing ourselves physically. You know, that night that I said we were out there till 3 in the morning, it was just, I mean, I actually felt bad for like 4 days. I don't know how, just drained like. I don't know how to describe it, but it was not good. So let's look at some of the other pros to selling the round bales over the square bales. Number one of the things that I noticed was we have way less customers, okay? So I didn't have a minimum on my square bales when I sold them. I felt like that was something I could offer that the big guys might not want to or be able to. So people would come here and get 2 or 3 bales of hay. Some people would get 1 bale of hay for their rabbit or whatever. And I was totally fine with it. I'm putting it out there, I'm totally fine with it. I love talking to those people and helping those people and all of that. However, you know, arranging all of that, what time do you get off work? Can you meet on this day, that day? And then usually what I found is, we arrange a time and the people are late, okay? Or they're super early. So I was like doing something to do something before they got here and they show up when I'm doing something. So you take those 17 round bales that we sold, we know there's 11.3 square bales in our round bales. That gives you, that would have been about 200 square bales to sell. Selling those round bales, I only had 4 total customers, okay? But if I had it in square bale format, you would have had, it's hard to tell how many you would have had, you know, for 200 bales of hay. Most people I found, at least for me, we did have some people come and get 100 and 200 bales of hay quantities, but a lot of people come in a pickup truck and get 20, 25 bales of hay. So, you know, and then a lot of people get your 5 bales. So it's hard to tell how many customers that would have been to arrange with. So one of the other nice things with selling the round bales, guys, is I could literally be like on the way out of my house, going to a family function or going out to eat or something like that. And if somebody wanted to come and get a round bale, all I had to do is fire the tractor up and plop it on their truck. With the square bales, you know, you're stacking those things and you're getting dirty. I mean, ain't no way around it. The super cool thing about these bales is 2 fit in a truck bed perfectly. So most people would come and get 2. Those 4 customers that came here, they came multiple times and got 2 bales on the bed of their truck. And it really didn't matter if it was like a short bed, like 6.5 foot bed or anything, you can just get them on there. And on that note, another positive is with the square bales, once you're loading up, you know, people got to strap their hay down, more so when they get like 50 or 100 or whatnot. But with selling the round bales, there was practically, you know, no fiddling around with helping people strap it down or anything like that. I mean, they'll come and get it in their truck and just leave. I mean, you don't even have to strap it. So that leads me to the big question, guys. This trial was done basically, like I told you, I advertised them November, December, January. Am I going to be able to sell these things and have the success that I did right after first cutting? So let's say we round bale first cutting. Am I going to be able to sell these things and move them before second cutting? Because, as I kind of showed you earlier, what we like to do is we have this bay full of hay and we like to pretty much sell it out. So sell all first cutting out and then put all second cutting back in. So if I'm not able to move them in between cuttings, it's kind of like, where do I put second cutting? And I can put it in another bay or something like that. But definitely something to think about. The market's going to be flooded with hay at that time. Are people going to be interested in my small round bales at a premium price during that time? I don't know. I will tell you, all indications show that people do like the fact that you don't need a tractor, or you can just have a really small tractor. By the way, it's raining out. The people that don't own a tractor, they love that you can move them around by hand, you can roll them around, whatever. You can even flip them. I mean, it's real easy. People also like them because they might even like round bales, the bigger ones, but they like these because you're not putting so much hay out at once. So actually the biggest thing is how well did the round bales work for us? Because that's the main thing, is we're really making them for us and for our usage. I can tell you, we absolutely loved feeding out the round bales. With the round bales, we put the hay way further out away from the barnyard. We put it more like out in the pasture, and we rolled them out. So what that did was it caused way less mud and way less disruption, all of that up near our barnyard, and we all know how that gets in the wintertime. You know, you roll it out and you have like 50 yards of hay rolled out, and the livestock, the goats and our Highland cows, are much more dispersed out. You know, they're not fighting. I mean, even if when we fed square bales out, towards the end, I was just feeding them on the ground. We used feeders, we used all different things. But even if you feed them on the ground and you put a couple here and there and stuff, you can't just spread them out enough. It just seems like there's always a little bit of fighting, and you know, the alpha animal gets their hay first and that kind of thing. You don't get that with rolling the hay out. The other thing is, because you're rolling it out, I'm able to kind of move it around more in the pasture and choose where I put hay, and therefore you have less mud as well. So everything just equals less mud. If you saw that video, you'll remember that I wanted to really feed out the round bales in the pasture using our golf cart, and we have a little 4x6 trailer. You can go out there and check that video out. But I didn't want to rely on the tractor to drive it out into the pasture when it's muddy and all of that, and roll the bale out. So what I did was if the bale was on the second or third layer up here, I'd get the tractor out and put it in the trailer on the golf cart. Then I would drive the golf cart out to the pasture and feed out the hay. The cool thing was, if the round bale happened to be on the first layer, I could back the golf cart and the trailer up here, roll the round bale onto the trailer, and go feed it that way. Didn't even have to start the tractor. That was nice. But how did it work out? Worked out great. The golf cart, I mean, it's like all these bale, Greg Judy bale and rollers you see, and all of that, where the idea is to use something that has less impact than a tractor, so an ATV or something, for soil compaction and mud and just everything else. So the golf cart did great on that. It's got the big tires, all that, had plenty of power. Bales aren't that heavy. I was really happy with how that worked out. Now, we only had the 4 round bales to try it with, so we'll get more use out of it next year, but it did great. And then I would pull it up. If you saw our pasture, it's kind of a bowl shape, so I'd pull it up to the top. I would drop the ramp on the trailer, and I would just roll these round bales right down the hill, and it worked amazing. There was one bale, so I guess I did 3 with the golf cart, and then there was one bale I had to use the tractor for, and the reason was because there was like 8 inches of snow on the ground, and there was no way this golf cart was getting out. Which that leads me to the next thing, is I had made a video on, I had bought a Bale Spear for the front end loader of my tractor, for this whole partial change of operation from square bales to round bales. Just to bring you up to speed, I bought this bad boy on Amazon back in December. All of the round bales was already moved up to the barn before I got this. So I had used the pallet forks that I already had to move them from the field up here. This Bale Spear doesn't have a ton of use on it because of that, but I did use it to load customers' trucks with. And I also used it to load our golf cart trailer up as well. This is the Yita motor, I think is how you pronounce it, Bale Spear off of Amazon. Honestly, I think they're all about the same and just have a little bit different name on Amazon. But I got this thing for $250 shipped to my house for that price. And I gotta tell you, I am super happy with it. I mean, this thing is heavy, it's heavy duty. I really couldn't be happier, especially with buying more of a name brand one. Is about $800 to $1,200, and I'm all about that. If I usually buy nice things, but in this case, we're making these small round bales, and they only weigh 400 pounds. I don't need a $1,200 Bale Spear to do that with. So I don't have any complaints about this thing. If you want to check it out, I'll put the Amazon link to it down in the description. With that said, guys, I'll put the video up here of where we bought that Heston 530 round baler and we used it for the very first time. If you want to check that video out, I'll meet you over there. I want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you again next time.